Welcome to SAT TV News. I am Alicia George. In our top stories, Canefield East squatters speak out on ongoing squatting dispute. Parliament will be dissolved, says disappointed Antigua and Barbuda Prime Minister. Agreement reached on deep-sea mining in Papua New Guinea. And in sports, All Saints football team secure comfortable victory over Wayne George Academy. Details of these will follow.
The wheel of change is here at SAT. New and exciting rewards just for you. SAT customers simply pay your bill and get the new Loyalty Plus plan for free. That's 26 channels absolutely free for a limited period. Yes, you heard me, free. And if you do pay your bill, you'll have the chance to win big with SAT TV. Up to $15,000 in prizes are up for grabs. 7-inch tablets, BlackBerry smartphones, food vouchers, and much more. Get more from SAT TV, the people's choice. SAT terms and conditions apply.
Introducing the Ashley Collection at Quartz. Quartz has joined with Ashley Furniture, the #1 selling home furnishings brand in America, to bring you the most extraordinary furniture selection at unbeatable prices. It's now easier than ever before to find that perfect furniture piece for your home. And what's more, you can add that special touch with the right accent piece from our range of designer accessories from Ashley. Create the perfect look for your home with the Ashley Collection at Quartz. Quartz, bringing value home. Visit the new Ashley Gallery at our Roseau store.
Welcome back. Residents of Canefield East have been expressing their views about allegations that squatters are occupying government land in that area. Reports are that there is an influx of squatters in the area, which has generated some level of unease among nearby residents and authorities. It is alleged that squatters were given permission to settle there by an unnamed Minister of Government.
September 4th will give it 2 years since I'm permanent resident for here. We had a trouble with the people on the lower below us, right? And they was dissatisfied with us being here. Then they send somebody, SSU, Special Squad Unit, to give the first set of people that have light and water notice to appear in court. That is March last year. Then we had a delegation. We went to the Prime Minister.
Williams said they were later given permission to settle on the land by the Prime Minister, but were warned to guard the land and prevent further squatting. However, the argument, she noted, is not about them, but about new squatters that are emerging high up the property.
But what the Prime Minister is saying is not the original people that is here, he telling to move. Is the people, the influx of people that is coming here because of the election. You understand? Every day, day and night, as you can see the condition of the road, it wasn't so good already. But the influx of people and the amount of vehicles, so they damage the road. Higher up, they are just putting fire, damaging people's pipe.
Williams was not the only one who felt that this was not right.
I know I'm Dominican by birth. You know, I was brought here by nobody. I was born in this country. I mean, everybody is squatting land in this area. I mean, it's Dominican. Everybody wants a piece of land in the country. Why you should be fighting down a poor people for trying to get a piece of land in Dominica? I mean, my only concern is that those people who are coming up here right now and say, I saw squatting land. I mean, are people who that have already. They should not be looking for more again. I mean, if you have something already, satisfied with what you have. Who haven't got yet, let somebody try and get.
On Thursday, April 24, 2014, Dominica joined the rest of the world and the International Telecommunications Union, ITU, to celebrate Girls in ICT Day, an event observed annually on the fourth Thursday in April. Minister for Telecommunications, Honorable Ambrose George, says that the Girls in ICT Day can help inspire young girls to develop a career and future in that field.
The International Telecommunications Union, the ITU, established Girls in ICT Day in 2010 as a global effort to raise awareness on empowering and encouraging girls and young women to consider studies and careers in information and communication technologies. Information and telecommunication technologies, ICTs, are tools through which gender equality and women's empowerment can be advanced and are integral to the creation of societies in which both women and men can substantively contribute and participate.
In quoting the Secretary General of the ITU, Dr. Hamadoun Aitoure, Mr. George stated ICT has become an essential part of a huge range of scientific disciplines from biotech to medicine, forensics, chemistry, and every type of engineering.
Our girls and young women are now in a position to take advantage of such a wide range of scientific disciplines, which helps close the gender gap between men and women in the area of science and technology, which was once believed to be the sole property of men. ICTs impact every aspect of our lives, and what a better group of persons who would be best suited to help in this endeavor than our young girls and women as trained ICT managers, software developers, medical technologists, doctors, chemists, engineers, and scientists.
The minister noted it is essential that our ICT teachers and educators endeavor to expose our young women and girls to all aspects of ICT disciplines in our schools, colleges, and universities. Some of the activities planned for girls in ICT Day included a quiz program on national radio for girls and young women to help stimulate their thoughts on ICT, in addition to highlights on the role of women in the field of technology, both locally and internationally.
Plans are already in motion to have a week of activities leading to Girls in ICT Day 2015 to showcase the achievements and skills of our young women and girls in technology. Let me take this opportunity to encourage every young girl to make ICT a career for the continued development of yourself, your family, your country, and your world. There are great opportunities awaiting you on the horizon once you have been trained in ICT. The ICT industry is the fastest growing industry in the world today, which means that girls in ICT will never be out of work. ICT skills means that girls will be able to work anywhere in the world as they wish.
Mr. George added, young girls and women must be aware that some of the highest paid jobs are in the field of ICT. Starting April 2014, the Dominica State College, DSC, will eliminate paper-based applications for entry into programs and will introduce all applications for new students for the 2014-2015 academic year via its website, dsc.edu.dm. This is a first for DSC as far as receiving application of new students is concerned and follows a successful test of the system during the 2013-2014 academic year. According to a press release by the college, this achievement is affirmative in its continuous pursuit for quality and excellence as the college seeks world-class recognition. DSC anticipates that a small number of students will not have access to computers and has dedicated staff at the Office of Admissions to provide access to these pupils. The college also reminds that May 30th, 2014 is the deadline for new applications for full-time as well as part-time courses and programs. A call has been sounded for teachers to embrace technology in the classrooms as the education system continues to make significant strides through the use of technology. This call came from Principal of the Dominica Seventh-day Adventist School, Mrs. Carlota Challenger, speaking during the Dominica Association of Teachers DAT 12th Biennial Conference.
Our education system boasts educators from every era. There are those who entered the system when all that were needed to enhance the learning environment were notebooks, pens, and pencils. Others came aboard when textbooks were introduced. Another group came on board in the desktop and laptop millennium. Today, we have those who use PowerPoint to teach every lesson. And of course, we do have within our education system technology gurus.
She noted times have changed and so must the teachers, who must be willing to use technology to enhance education. Mrs. Challenger added teachers must apply a hands-on approach towards learning and technology must be maximized.
Technology in the classroom submitted 3 major advantages regarding technology in the classroom. 1, Educators should use technology in the classroom because its wide range of uses and forms has the potential to reach students of all learning styles as well as to be more efficient. 2, the interest and motivation that technology induces in students makes its usage in school important. Educators better prepare students for the future when using technology aimed at addressing each learning style.
The principal also noted it is vital that students use technology on a regular basis as it helps them build skills for life in the 21st century. Continuing on the use of technology, Minister for Education, Honorable Peter Serjeant said the educator's role in enhancing education through technology is very critical.
Today's highly technological learning environment demands that teachers do not only tolerate technology in the classroom, but they actively utilize technology to facilitate the learning process. The latter will mean that educators must experience a rebirth in the degree of receptivity to the active use of technology in the modern classroom.
Serjeant says in order for educators to embrace technology as a learning tool, they must feel comfortable with the use of technology. Please stay tuned. When we return, the rest of the newscast.
The wheel of change is here at SAS. New and exciting rewards just for you. SAS customers simply pay your bill and get the new Loyalty Plus plan for free. That's 26 channels absolutely free for a limited period. Yes, you heard me, free. And if you do pay your bill, you'll have a chance to win big with SAT TV. Up to $15,000 in prizes are up for grabs. 7-inch tablets, BlackBerry smartphones, food vouchers, and much, much more. Get more from SAT TV, the people's choice. SAT terms and conditions apply.
Thank you for staying tuned. The University of the West Indies, UWI, Open Campus Dominica, on Thursday, April 24, 2014, hosted a film viewing and discussion session at its open campus on Emsall Road. This 45-minute documentary film, which was produced by Joseph and Mr. Steinberg Henry, explores issues of child abuse in Dominica, St. Vincent, and Antigua.
It took some time planning, and working with Steinberg, who is exceptionally professional and exceptionally qualified. Although I knew what I wanted, he advised all the way through in his professional way by listening and putting it into context. So I really want to give him some tribute for that. We did that documentary in 3 Caribbean islands deliberately, in St. Vincent, in Dominica, and in Antigua. Antigua gave us more of a problem because we were wondering if we would exit the country with the information that we got based what, when we met a government official, what was said to us in the sense that you may not be allowed to leave this country with some of the findings that you may have got. It was a high-ranking person in the welfare division.
Recently, Joseph stated that with the recent announcements and debate on the increase of sexual and other forms of abuse of our young girls and boys, I feel it is time to revisit some of the critical issues of abuse. He believes that these issues need to be discussed in an open forum where the public, as well as students and others engaged in social work, counseling, and other related fields can participate in the discussion.
We don't have an organized social workers group here, but social workers do meet now and then to talk and to talk about the issues and the profession. And that in itself, if it's not been organized, creates a problem for, in a professional way, addressing the issues and taking it forward to attract or to enact social policies and change social policies in the best way possible.
According to data collected in Dominica, the incidence of child sexual abuse has been increasing monthly and is the highest form of abuse committed against Dominica's children this year.
There were 18 reported cases of incest. Also of concern are pregnancies occurring due to child sexual abuse. And Alice Bodnai made reference to if those cases are presented or the pregnancy is presenting itself to the hospitals, what authority is there to build upon it and to do what? We hear about this protocol being executed well in most developed countries, but here people are scared.
Joseph says there are professionals who are willing to make the effort with the resources they have, but the support is nowhere. Plans are on the way for the first ever Agriculture and Forestry Festival, expected to take place from May 12 to 17, 2014, under the theme Agriculture and Forestry, Our Sustainable Future. According to coordinator of the festival, Rosalind Paul, the event is timely as the Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry attempts to revive the industries.
It's a time when we want to showcase what has been going on, the new developments, the new ways of thinking, the new strategies for bringing agriculture forward. So the Agri-Forestry Festival is meant to showcase all that's being done. We know that sometimes there are misconceptions, and in this new era, we need to reposition agriculture to bring benefits into the economy.
An exhibition scheduled for Wednesday, 14th May 2014 will coincide with the formal opening of the Modern Agricultural Center in 1 Mile Portsmouth and will feature livestock and crops ranging from varieties and new development in citrus, cocoa and coffee, as well as other commercial crops.
And we are hoping that by the end of this festival, Dominicans would be more aware of the new developments in agriculture, the new methods that they need to employ, and even the strategies to control like things like black sigatoka disease. So it would get us more aware and sensitized to be able to take agriculture and forestry forward to better benefit the economy and livelihoods.
A youth symposium will also form part of the activities for the week, and individuals as well as school participation is encouraged.
Youth will be integrally involved. Plans for a youth symposium will form part of the celebration, as well as having young persons through the forage clubs, through the junior achievers, to show what they've been doing in terms of agriculture and agro-processing. So it would stimulate youth greater interest in agriculture and agribusinesses.
Unity Music Society Incorporated, UNIMUFS, a non-profit entity, will be hosting the first in a number of activities focused on raising cultural awareness and development in Dominica.
The focus on the group is to do events different places in Dominica and to travel over outside of Dominica to promote Dominica about the cultural emancipation and helping the young one to include them in these vibes.
The first event is scheduled for May 3rd and will feature both regional and local artists.
We're going to have Richie Spice at 12:30 in the night. Before we have a few local artists. I can name few good ones like Bright, Fire Bright, and Ijadan. We have 10 teachers. She play already with Queen Africa and she travel the world. So we put all of them with Unity Music groups, and we're going to have a new vibes, reggae vibes with the Dominican.
The committee says it will host activities at times where there are no big events taking place in an attempt to generate revenue in and bring revenue to the country. According to Brule, the activities will enhance tourism and hopefully develop the culture of the island.
So we are trying to raise fund to do a more event, to invite more international artists, to involve international artists and with young artists in Dominica for them to learn on an international level. We realize we have a problem in Dominica. As a painter and as a former teacher, I used to do art at school with the children, and we have a lot of artists in Dominica. When it comes from singing, art and dancer and writer, compositor. So definitely we want to open an association where we call in all the young ones from the college and CXC to be together and to help them to develop. Even when they go into study, we can give them advice how to do their books.
Plans are well on the way as the Granbury Union Committee, GBRC, and the Village Council gears up for Granbury Union 2014, scheduled for Friday 25th July to Monday 4th August. To date, the GBRC has a number of activities planned to celebrate this very important event. some of which include an opening ceremony and parade to officially launch the reunion.
We have the Midnight Groovers, which is a long-time band from Granby, which is still popular. We also have little groupings of young stars who are also planning to participate at different points. We'll also be having the Granby Overseas Bands. These are people who were involved a lot in Granby cultural activities in the early 70s and 80s, who migrated. They are very happy to be coming back to Granby to celebrate with us for the reunion. So one of the first activities on the first day, which is the Friday 25th July, will be a Blokorama at the Tetlali, where we will have the Midnight Groovers and the old bandsmen from the different areas around the world from Granby participating.
Paquette noted they have a packed program of activities. Other activities include church services, snorkeling at the Champagne Reef, rehabilitation projects for the enhancement of the community, a tea farm cultural pageant, senior home visits, and an economic development panel discussion.
Earlier, we also have an exhibition planned. Some people who don't know about the history of Granby, we will have an exhibition to expose a lot of the incidents that took place long before some of them were born, and some of the people that we wanted to recognize that are dead now. At least for the exhibition, we will have their pictures displayed and some of the contributions that they made to the Granby community. And we have a youth debate, which is a good thing for Granby, seeing that Granby is also Granburyans has concern about Granby being the cultural capital. We cannot really avoid that topic. We want to have that as a youth debate to ensure that Granby people understand the importance of we owning the cultural capital of Granby, or whether it is being threatened to be taken away from us.
Julian Paquette, assistant for GBRC 2014, says when the people of Granby who reside out of the island return for the reunion, they will be very much surprised at how the community has developed.
When they return, they will be celebrating, the offsprings of the revolution. And it will be a time for they too to give back to the community, to start seed projects, and also for them to see people that they have not seen in so many years. I mean, you have uncles and families away with their own families who have not seen or don't know families here in Dominica. And so it'd be a nice time for us to all come together and socialize under an umbrella called the Reunion 2014.
He noted the funds raised by the committee will go towards further developing the community in areas including roadworks, infrastructure, and the upkeep of Granby. The committee is still awaiting a response from the government as it relates to a letter requesting financial assistance, an aspect which has been very challenging for them to successfully stage reunion activities. And in court news, a Fonkole man who claimed he has been under pressure lately has been fined $1,000 for being armed with an offensive weapon. A report was made to police on 23 April 2014, which stated that Austin Graham, aged 20, was in the Fonkole area carrying a cutlass. When the investigating officer arrived at Fonkole, the defendant was not found in the area, but was later found on the Canefield Public Road wearing only underwear with the cutlass in his hands. He was ordered to drop the cutlass at gunpoint, which he did. During the investigation, Graham told the officer that the last thing he remembered was that he was lying in bed with his girlfriend, who told him something. According to him, he did not know how he ended up with the cutlass. In court on Thursday, Graham apologized for his actions. He was reprimanded by Chief Magistrate Candid George, who told him that he must find alternate ways to deal with his pressure, and someone could have gotten hurt in the process. The fine is payable by June 30th, 2014, or in default, Graham will spend 3 months in prison. A Soufriere juvenile has pleaded not guilty to threats and was placed on $3,000 bond with his mother as surety. The charge stated that on 21st April 2014 at Soufriere, the juvenile threatened his father by saying, "Long time I have it for you, is gunshot I giving you." His matter has been adjourned to June 4th, 2014. Brenton Roll, 22 of Independence Street, has pleaded guilty to possession of 21 grams of cannabis. On 22nd April at Independence Street, about 3:15 p.m., an off-duty officer was in the vicinity of Charles Minimat when he observed the defendant leaning against a vehicle, placing a clear plastic bag with what appeared to be cannabis in his left back pant pocket. The officer approached the defendant and told him what he had seen. He told the officer it was just a little weed. He was then arrested on suspicion of possession of cannabis. In court, Chief Magistrate Candia George warned Rowe that he should calculate his actions and try his best to stay away from illegal substance. Rowe was fined $600 to be paid by 31st May 2014 or in default spent 2 months in prison. Meanwhile, Miguel Curtin of Egliston, facing an indictable charge of grievous bodily harm, will remain on remand until he can present the court with a suitable surety for his bail. When the charge was read to him in a magistrate's court on Thursday, he was not required to plea. It states that on 17th January 2014 on Goodwill Road, Curtin caused grievous bodily harm to Franklin Germain. The preliminary inquiry is set to begin on October 13, 2014. This has been the local segment of the news. Coming up next, regional highlights.
The wheel of change is here at SAS. New and exciting rewards just for you. SAS customers simply pay your bill and get the new Loyalty Plus plan for free. That's 26 channels absolutely free for a limited period. Yes, you heard me, free. And if you do pay your bill, you'll have a chance to win big with SAT TV. Up to $15,000 in prizes are up for grabs. 7-inch tablets, BlackBerry smartphones, food vouchers, and much, much more. Get more from SAT TV, the people's choice. SAT terms and conditions apply.
Taking care of my family is important to me. Appliances from Quartz makes it a lot easier. So come in today and get this Mabe 30-inch cooker for $1,699 cash or $20 weekly. Whirlpool washer for $2,299 cash or $27 weekly. Don't wait. At Quartz, you get the world's best brands at the best prices. I love that, and you will too. Quartz, bringing value home.
In our top regional stories, Antigua and Barbuda's Prime Minister Baldwin Spencer says he will allow Parliament to automatically be dissolved and described as unfortunate the length of time taken by the OECS Supreme Court to deliver a judgment in 2 matters that could have had a bearing on the upcoming general elections. The Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court is expected to hand down its ruling on April 28th in the British Virgin Islands. It will determine whether the electoral list resulting from the September 30th to November 4th, 2013 registration exercise is lawful and can be used for general elections. The High Court had earlier ruled the list lawful, but the ALP appealed, contending that the 2010 amendment to the electoral law, under which the registration exercise was conducted, ought not to have been applied retroactively. In the other matter, the Court of Appeal had been asked to ascertain whether the Boundaries Commission was fair in its preparation of its report, which the ALP said was biased and unfavorable to the party's political candidates. In more regional news, 1 week after taking up his appointment, the new Liat CEO, David Evans, will join an elite panel to discuss the impact of aviation taxes on Caribbean travel on the Tax Factor, CTO's first TV program for 2014. The program, scheduled for Wednesday 30th April at 8 p.m., will be broadcasted live from the Caribbean Media Corporation CMC's studio in Bridgetown, Barbados. It can be seen on the CMC's Caribvision cable channel or online. In the meantime, begin the discussion now on Facebook and Twitter by sharing your thoughts on airline taxes, the impact of these taxes on ticket prices, and how we can make travel more affordable. And on the international scene, plans to open the world's first mine in the deep ocean have moved significantly closer to becoming reality. A Canadian mining company has finalized an agreement with Papua New Guinea to start digging up an area of seabed. The company, Nautilus Minerals, has been eyeing the seabed minerals of Papua New Guinea, PNG, since the 1990s, but then became locked in a lengthy dispute with the PNG government over the terms of the operation. Under the agreement just reached, PNG will take a 15% stake in the mine by contributing $120 million towards the cost of operation. The controversial project aims to extract ores of copper, gold, and other valuable metals from a depth of 1,500 meters. However, environmental campaigners say mining the ocean floor will prove devastating, causing lasting damage to marine life. Sports is next, so stay tuned.
The wheel of change is here at SAS. New and exciting rewards just for you. SAS customers simply pay your bill and get the new Loyalty Plus plan for free. That's 26 channels absolutely free for a limited period. Yes, you heard me, free. And if you do pay your bill, you'll have the chance to win big with SAT TV. Up to $15,000 in prizes are up for grabs. 7-inch tablets, BlackBerry smartphones, food vouchers, and much, much more. Get more from SAT TV, the people's choice. SAT terms and conditions apply.
Thank you for staying tuned. In the Dominica Amateur Basketball Association, DABA, Game 1 played on Thursday, 24th April, Shanks Juggernauts of Salisbury trounced Sportsmark's Young Ballers 100-52. In Game 2, E.H. Charles Crossovers also made light work of the Spartan United Ballers, defeating them 88-46. In the upcoming games of the Premier Division on Friday, 25th, Grand Bay Pros will take on Crazy Coconuts Tigers at 7 p.m., while D-Thread's No Look goes head-on with Steinman X-Men at 9 p.m. In football, All Saints football team got the better of their opponents as they cruised to a comfortable victory. On Wednesday evening, in the second match of a double-header at the Bath Estate playing field, All Saints defeated Wayne George Academy by 3-1 as the action continued in the DFA Intermediate Division. James Dellis, Louis Moatbalu, and Ajana Olumide scored 1 goal each for the winners, and Jamal Durant scored the lone goal for the Wayne George Academy. Meanwhile, the Dominica Secondary Schools won by default over Buster Warner, which showed up late for the 5:30 encounter. On Thursday evening in the All-Island League, Goodwill All-Stars and Mazroy Classic Fonkole played to a 3-all draw at the Bath Estate playing field. When the action continues this Saturday in the All-Island League, in the first match of a double-header at the Bath Estate playing field, Gully Dream Team will take on Haitian Angels, while from 6 p.m., Delices will take on Bioche. At the Benjamin's Park in Portsmouth, Layu and Aldrin Spitzer and more Bombers will square off against each other from 3 p.m. On Sunday in the All-Island League, Exodus will take on Nemesis at the Benjamin's Park in Portsmouth. Kickoff time is scheduled for 3 p.m. On Sunday in the Dominic Women's League from 3 p.m. at the Bath Estate playing field, Maho Soka Strikers will take on defending champions New India Goodwill Runners, and at the same venue from 5 p.m., Wood City will take on the New Generation Sports Club from 5 p.m. In cricket, Jamaica batsman Marlon Samuels will miss the final of WICB Wicks Headley Challenge Trophy against Windward Islands in St. Lucia, starting on Saturday at the Bijou Cricket Stadium due to a hamstring injury. Samuels, who failed to take part in the team's semi-final win over Barbados, also due to injury, recently returned to the country. He has been replaced in the team's 13-man squad by opener John Ross Campbell, who made way for all-rounder David Bernard Jr. in the semi-finals. Jamaica's squad reads Tamil Lambert captain, Carlton Barr Jr., David Bernard Jr., Jerome Taylor, Nkrumah Boona, Damian Jacobs, Andre McCarthy, Jermaine Blackwood, John Campbell, Dikita Miller, Brian Buchanan, Sheldon Cottrell, John Ross Campbell. The Windward Island squad is expected to be selected from the following players: Liam Sebastian captain, Sanil Ambris, Mal Bascombe, John Charles, Ramel Currency, Delron Johnson, Kerry Les Porris, Mervyn Matthew, Nellen Pascal, Kenroy Peters, Shane Shillingford, Devon Smith, and Tyrone Teotil. Umpires Joel Wilson of Trinidad and Gregory Brathwaite of Barbados will stand in the match. Former Windward Islands middle order batsman Francis Maurice will do standby duties with Patrick Pillick serving as a match referee. The Windward Islands defeated Trinidad and Tobago by 234 runs to earn their spot in the finals, while Jamaica edged out Barbados by 1 wicket. And that's it for sports this evening. Now for Today in History. Dr. Frederick B. Patterson founded the United Negro College Fund on this day in 1944 with the purpose of providing financial support to students at historically black colleges and universities. Generally, scholarship funds are provided for 39 private historically black colleges and universities. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt and John D. Rockefeller, Jr. were among the movement's early supporters. We now join the Dominica Met Office for today's weather report.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to tonight's weather. I'll be your presenter for this evening, Farah Rock Korea. Beautiful, fair to partly cloudy conditions we experienced today. We move on now to some earlier infrared satellite imagery, and what it showed was minimal cloud cover over Dominica and the rest of the Lesser Antilles. What we also observed was some high-level clouds which moved from the west to the east. We move on now to some earlier radar imagery, and what it indicated was limited shower activity. As a matter of fact, none of the stations on the island recorded any rainfall for today. We move on now to tonight's weather. Fairly partly cloudy conditions expected tonight. Temperatures will be down to 24 degrees Celsius on the coast and 20 degrees in the interior, and winds are expected to be southeasterly up to 30 kilometers per hour. Tomorrow, beautiful conditions expected again. Fairly partly cloudy conditions. Temperatures will be up to 31 degrees Celsius on the coast and 27 degrees in the interior, and the winds again will be southeasterly but up to 35 kilometers per hour. The sea conditions tomorrow is expected to be slight to moderate, and swells will be up to 5 feet. For those of you who love to plan ahead, the 3-day outlook, beautiful conditions expected for the next 3 days. Fair to partly cloudy conditions. The temperatures will peak up to 31 degrees Celsius for the 3-day period, and the winds will be up to 35 kilometers per hour. What's the weather going to be like for the rest of our friends in the Caribbean? The Atlantic high pressure system continues to be a dominant feature affecting weather conditions across the Caribbean. Partly cloudy to cloudy conditions expected in the extreme southern portion of the island chain. However, from St. Lucia onwards to Puerto Rico, fair to partly cloudy conditions expected, and maximum temperatures are expected to range from 29 to 31 degrees Celsius. The International City Forecast: cloudy conditions with some showers expected in New York, beautiful conditions expected in Miami, partly cloudy to cloudy conditions with some scattered showers in London, and partly cloudy conditions expected in Caracas and Beijing. Sunrise tomorrow will be at 5:44 a.m. and sunset at 6:22 p.m. For more information, you could always log on to our website at www.weather.gov.dm. Call our weather hotline at 447-5555. Join us next time for your next weather broadcast. Thank you.
Our thanks to the Met Office for that report. Now for the thought of the day. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Mary Ann Williamson. That's the thought of the day, and this takes us to the end of our newscast for the evening. When we return, a recap of the headlines.
The wheel of change is here at SAS. New and exciting rewards just for you. SAP customers, simply pay your bill and get the new Loyalty Plus plan for free. That's 26 channels absolutely free for a limited period. Yes, you heard me, free. And if you do pay your bill, you'll have a chance to win big with SAP TV. Up to $15,000 in prizes are up for grabs. 7-inch tablets, BlackBerry smartphones, food vouchers, and much, much more. Get more from SAP TV, the people's choice. SAP terms and conditions apply.
Welcome to Holland. Welcome to the country of the world's most famous cows. This is where your Dutch lady milk comes from. Taste our nature at its best. Dutch Lady. Discover the goodness of milk from Holland.
And now for a recap of the headlines. Canefield East squatters speak out in ongoing squatting dispute. Parliament will be dissolved, says disappointed Antigua and Barbuda Prime Minister. Agreement reached on deep-sea mining in Papua New Guinea. And in sports, All Saints football team secure comfortable victory over Wayne George Academy. You have been watching SAT TV News. We thank you for joining us, and we invite you to join us again tomorrow for our weekend review. On behalf of SAT TV's news production team, I am Alicia George, wishing you a pleasant evening. Feel free to send your queries and comments to news@sat.dm. You can also join us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/sattelecoms or follow us on Twitter at www.twitter.com/sattelecoms. Remember, Sat Telecoms is the people's choice, and Satnet, a better choice.